Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
All right. Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
So one of the things I want to tell you, brought to you by Dispose LLC. This is a garbage company who's doing great things. I don't even want to say it's small anymore. I want to say we large and in charge. So check us out. You might find out that you might actually be talking to me when you call. But regardless of that, I'm going to make sure we take care of you with customer service and loyalty.
Yes.
I like to be loyal to my customers, and I want to make sure I give them the service that they're asking for. And all I need you to do is give us a call, 770-462-8984. You can see I don't call it that often, but one of the things I want you to do is lock it in and call it. Because again, we got websites that's being designed. That's what we'll have up by next week. And you will be able to order online, not going through all that rigmarole of everything else. And if you still want to talk to me, I can set you up as well. That's right. Dispose. Now I got to get back to the person who's been rocking me for over 4 years. Craftmatic, how you doing tonight? Big baby.
Doing good, Jay.
You got a birthday coming up, dog.
Birthday coming
I'm
up.
snitching. October, baby. That's right.
October 8th, man. It's another year in the fold, you know.
Oh my goodness.
So excited, man. Excited about life.
Any big plans, man? I mean, do we need to add the audience? You know what you want to do, what you want to do.
No, man. No, I'm
Okay.
good. I'm just, I'd like to receive a little love if y'all got something to say, you know.
So in other words, he said cash
Your
out.
birthday wishes. I'm always open for that.
All right.
Otherwise, I'm doing good, man. How you doing, Smooth Jay?
Now I'm gonna tell you, it's a little rough today, y'all. And you get my personal business out there.
Rough?
Stomach wasn't right, man. Woke up, I was just a little toe up.
Oh, man.
It took me a minute to get started.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, when it get closer to showtime, I start feeling better.
Okay.
I can't tell you I'm 100, but I can tell you I'm excited. And that's one of the things when you love to do something, it gives you energy. So don't get me wrong, I was still able to do work from home. I was able to accomplish some things. But it seemed like get closer to showtime, you know, automatically I'm just getting back focused.
Absolutely.
So again, it's the blessing upstairs for waking me up and allowing me to get well again.
Mm-hmm.
Got to watch some of the things I do.
Right.
That's what I learned.
Yeah, we all have to watch some of the things we do, especially as we age.
But I'll snitch no further.
Let's properly introduce ourselves. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic. This is my boy Smooth Jay.
Yes.
And we are simply here to have a great dialogue and inspire you and hopefully give you an opportunity to see yourself and really examine your life and your own life situations and make some clear decisions. You know, we want you to be involved in this conversation even though you may be afar and some time off. This is just good, solid dialogue about what's really happening underneath the surface of things. Mm-hmm. We know what politics and what the world thinks and what people want us to know, but we never really get down to the blunt of it. And we talk a lot about relationships. And so, you know, getting underneath the surface of relationships is something that we just don't get enough talk about. True. And in fact, if you're not participating in a show like this, I wonder how people are even being developed in the area of relationships. So we thank you for being here tonight, and we always start the show off with a prayer. Jay, if you want to do our prayer.
Give it to him, Crab.
Okay. Tonight's prayer, Barb titled tonight's prayer about faith. Okay. And so we're gonna hand it over to the Lord, and bear with me. I'm gonna spend a little time with this one, okay?
Okay.
Heavenly Father, we ask that you be with us tonight, and we thank you for your grace and your mercy and your love on our lives. We ask, Heavenly Father, that you would open our mind and our hearts about the idea of faith. We're asking, Father, to be able to trust the real truth, the real and whole and sincere and most powerful truth that is for us to know in this life and for us to be in this life. We're asking, Lord, that you would increase our spirit of loyalty, the loyalty that we give others and the loyalty that people give to us. Increase our hope in life and our hope in love and our hope in peace. Give us greater conviction and confidence in our spirits and a greater belief and trusting system that will take us into the promised land, Heavenly Father. We ask, Heavenly Father, that you would deny any disbelief in our spirit, any disloyalties, that you would strike it down, Father. Heavenly Father, that you would keep us filled with honesty and that you would destroy any lying tongue about our lives and about our way, that you would keep us from dark places because of a lack of faith, Father, that you would keep us strong and pure and whole and complete in every way possible. Thank you for being on this show with us. Lead us and guide us and speak through us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Ooh.
Amen.
Man, you told me you was going to lay into that one.
I
You wasn't playing.
had some things going on in that one.
I felt it.
I didn't even finish it.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I just love to pray.
Ain't nothing wrong.
Just love to pray. And, prayer is the center of my life. It has revolutionized my life over and over and over again. And I cannot sometimes even explain as to how much value that I have gained just from having a great prayer life.
Okay.
Because thoughts create our reality, and the greatest thought you can manufacture is a prayer thought.
That's
right? Where you're handing it over to the Father, where you're actually speaking it into the ear of the one who will achieve it. And we can do that. That's our relationship with Him. So I can talk about that all night. So let's go ahead and move on and cover last week's topic.
Oh, talking about the relationship goals and
Yes.
how to make them work.
And how to make them work.
Man, that was an interesting show, man.
Yeah, it was, Jay. What'd you get out of that, man?
I'm not gonna lie to you. What I really got is like when I first came to you, when I first looked at relationships, I didn't look at goals. But I did it towards work, but I didn't do it towards this dating. I came in with a simple goal to smash, and meet somebody.
Right.
But then when I started working and achieving things, I started looking at it differently.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it was just a mindset.
Yeah.
And you got to grow, and you got to be in a better place where you can start focusing. And again, it's something that you have to be mature.
Right.
And some people are way mature than me, and they did it early. So I'm not trying to tell everybody they need to step in my shoes and walk in. You got to walk in your own, but recognize there's some things that we can accomplish together, and you might want to start thinking that way.
Yeah, and I said on the show last week that one of the prerequisites of a relationship goal is that you got to have some form of unity.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to come together to talk about the goals, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Right? And in talking about the goals, begin to experience some commonality among the each of you about what you want to achieve. And so there needs to be a lot of good communication going on. There needs to be some openness to express maybe what I might have been holding back. And maybe, but you got to find a way to get to some commonality so that you can develop the goal. I'm a firm believer that a goal amongst a couple is one of the greatest strongholds that can happen. Either she's on board with you in your business, or you on board with her in her business, or you each are doing stuff for each other, but you really have a central theme that carries you day by day by day.
I like that.
If he likes to come home and talk about the numbers from the business and the books, you don't want the wife being like, man, he talking about that shit again.
Well, he just there at work.
You don't want to have this great marketing approach to life and or to your business, and you can't even discuss it with your significant other, And so, having a common goal is beautiful, but it also might require some openness in order to come to a common theme, But it's not ever going to work if you don't find a way to come together, and that means maybe letting go of some of the old stuff, right? A complete renewal. I think last week's prayer was about renewal. And I have had a tremendous amount of it this week. So, sometimes those goals can be about, hey, let's renew. Maybe let's move to another place, maybe another state, and we're just going to start over, and we're just going to be together, and we're just going to make this work, And we let go of the family, we let go of all the ties and the jobs and the people we know, and we're just going to start over for love, just for us. That could be a great relationship goal, right? Just a new avenue, because sometimes, if you're trying to date and love somebody in an environment that you grew up in, there's a lot of distractions.
Correct.
Right? And there's a lot of history in that town. There's a lot of history amongst those folks and amongst the family, etc. And it may be hard to get a lift off in a relationship being around those folks. But if you got somebody worth it, set a measure to be together, and that may not necessarily mean, marriage. but set a goal that, hey, this, I'm in the game with this person's in the game with me, and what happens from here, we're not even worried about. But she's on my team or she's not on my team. He's on my team or he's not on my team.
I like that.
Yeah. So listen, it was a great show, folks. We would love for you to go back, take a look at it, and I don't know. Do we? Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
Oh yeah, it's on. Okay.
Already.
Yeah. So listen, we're all over the internet. I got my timing messed up. We're all over the internet. Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts. And you can find us in any other crazy atmospheres like OfferUp and
that's right.
Black Pages.
That's right.
You know, the old joke that we always do. But
ain't no joke.
The point is, it ain't no joke.
We really are.
It's not a joke at all, right?
Jay put you everywhere.
Jay put you everywhere. And that's how we were able to achieve what we're able to achieve. I think we got something like, I don't know, is it 54,000 followers or something? 57,000 followers?
Man, it's up there.
Yeah, that's a pretty tough number, man, and we're on so many different platforms. There's many more. We just have not been able to consolidate them, even for our own understanding. We're just putting work out and hoping you folks enjoy it. So check out the show. Like us, share us, subscribe. Share us, subscribe.
Yes.
Please send this to friends and family. Anybody who looking for some good positivity. That's all we're trying to bring. Being leaders here in our own community. So let's move on to our quote for the day.
What we got?
And it's a good quote, and I'm gonna kind of change it up just a little bit, just to make sure our audience understands it. Okay, it goes like this: we're not scared of the dark. We're not scared of heights. We're not scared of the people around us. We're not afraid to let go. We're not afraid to love. We're not afraid to try again. If we were to be afraid, it would be of potentially falling, rejection, not being loved back. No more pain. Let's just leave it at that. No more pain. We're not afraid. But if we were afraid, it would be for falling and rejection. How does that apply to you, Jay?
I'm not gonna lie, man. Starting my own business, it was a fear. Fear it might not be successful, and I was putting a lot of my own money in it. And I had to get past that fear to go ahead and take that leap. And it's one of the things that's not easy to do. It's easy to say, but you have to have belief in you to go ahead and get past that. And then I did have some bumps, and I did go through some things that make me feel like, wow, man, this is a real struggle. It didn't always come easy. But that also gave me that endurance.
Right.
And it also made me love what I was doing even more, because I didn't want to fail, and I wanted to put failure out of my mind.
Right.
And the best way to do it is to work through it.
Work through it. And I think that's the point that's being made here as I reread this quote for the day, that we're all afraid of falling. We're all afraid of a little bit of a rejection. We're all afraid of maybe not being loved back, not being loved the same way that we're loving the other people. There's all these reasons that we hold back, right? But when you try, and when you try and you try and you try again, you get to a point where you're no longer scared. Where you're no longer scared of the darkness. You're no longer scared of the heights. You're no longer scared of what people say. You're no longer afraid to love. You're no longer afraid to try again. Like at a position where Jay and I are right now, we're just going to keep grinding no matter what happens.
Okay.
There's not a single thing under the sun that's going to stop us from putting out positive messages for the rest of our days. That is who we are. That is what we do. And we're not afraid of falling. We're not afraid of rejection. We're not afraid of people liking us or not liking us. And you have to have that in your spirit. That's the point to be made here. You need to have that in your spirit. No longer are you going to be afraid of falling or rejection. You're going to step out there and no longer be afraid of the dark. And no longer be afraid of the heights. Because, it just takes, we're really talking about faith here. We're talking about faith. It gets back to faith. And now I can see how Barb tied those two together. Because without faith, we are nothing. Right? And faith means I got to step out there on a piece of plywood that I'm not sure if it's going to hold me. I'm not sure if I got the balance to stand on that piece of plywood. I got the first step, but I'm not sure if the second or third step going to keep me balanced enough to stay on this piece of plywood, on this bridge. I'm not sure if the bridge gonna hold me up, but you know what? I'm trusting in Him who told me to go that way. I'm trusting in my Father. I'm trusting in something higher than what I see. And come hell or high water, I will end up on the other side of this bridge, safe and sound, on my way to the journey that I started. And when you get that resolve in your spirit, that's what we're talking about, that resolve that keep you fighting every day. You're no longer even considering quitting because you got that resolve in your spirit. That's what we're talking about. No more fear of pain.
Not at all.
Just charge forward. No more fear of pain. Anything on that, Jay?
No, man, you hit it home. And again, just for dating purposes, even getting used to rejection.
Yes.
And it's hard. Don't get me wrong.
It's hard.
Yeah, walking somebody reject you, it's hard. But if you ever think about a salesman, he had a lot of doors that's going to be closed and a nose. But the fact that he has to have the resolve to get past that, to keep going, because he know he going to get a yes. And it might be a few less yes, but it's going to be a whole lot of no's. But you got to keep going to be a successful salesperson. And I like to say, when you walk up on somebody and then they reject you, they don't even know what they're rejecting. It might be a quick look, glance. They might not be interested.
Right.
But a lot of times, just for the fact that you got that strength of saying something polite back, like, well, you still have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Well, what's your name? It might get them to see you in a different light because they just think we all the same.
Right.
You just like anybody else. You thirsty. Just because I came up and spoke to you don't mean I'm thirsty.
Right.
It don't mean I want to drink from your water anyway.
Right.
But I do want to get to know you to see if we can vibe, and it might be able to go somewhere else. But since you want to put me as a playboy, label me without knowing me, then you'll never even know me.
Right.
And then you might find out I'm the greatest thing that probably came across your path, and you just let me go because of your thoughts and your desire to want more from me than you don't even know of me. So it's not me all the time. Sometimes it's them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to still approach you because, again, I like to meet a new friend.
Yeah. That's wonderful, Jay. We like to meet new friends. Right?
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with I need them. I need them. Share, pass.
Right.
This ain't.
You wow, boy. Wow. So listen, tonight I'm gonna go ahead and introduce our subject.
Okay.
We're gonna get prepared for our first break. This is a pretty deep subject, man, when you really break it down. And I'm trying to preface it just a little bit, but tonight we're talking about allowing your man or your woman to be themselves. Allowing your man or your woman to be themselves. And boy, that's gonna be a tricky one. It's gonna be a tricky one. But I think we need to do this one from the relationship standpoint, though, Jay.
And you always go back to everybody in no relationship.
Now, no, but the people who ain't in a relationship ain't got to worry about this crap.
Hey, the ones that ain't loyal, yeah, you do.
Yeah, they ain't got to worry about this stuff. So see, low, we finna get ready to break, man. You folks, stay tuned with us. We hope you are enjoying the show. This is Bar Talk with Jay, and we're going to be right back after this message.
Welcome back to Bar Talk with Jay.
Yes.
Now, during our breaks, man, Crab had some questions for me, man. You gonna bring it to the air?
No, man, I was just trying to figure out what you were saying about, being rejected. And, I wanted to just share an idea. I shared this with Jay during the break. I said, really, rejection isn't necessarily rejection because there's so many equations that are in other people's heads whenever they approach you or you approach them, right? And so they may be playing tapes of the last knucklehead that hollered at them, or they might be thinking about the ex-boyfriend. They might be thinking about somebody they seeing right now. They could be, and so the rejection isn't necessarily about you. But if you will stick around long enough, just to simply open up the dialogue, you'll find that rejection will fade quickly. And so young men just, they think that, you know, a cool word or a cool phrase or a cool line is what gets you through.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not what gets you through. You know, a woman wants to see your heart. They want to see your mind. They want to know who you are really, and you can do that in just simple dialogue. You know, how you doing, where you from, what's going on with your life, you know what I'm saying, what's the next big thing gonna happen to you, you know, just you know, be vested in getting to know her, and she will most certainly open up to you. It's just the way the human psyche works. It's just the way that the woman's heart works. So you can't be a knucklehead and get anywhere, right? You can't be a knucklehead and get anywhere. Even bad boys got good game.
Come on now.
You know, even bad boys spit that fire. You know, so just a word to the wise. Is that what you wanted to bring out, Jay?
I did, because again, I was trying to tell you, like when I got rejected, and I had a nice remark saying, "Well, we still hope you have a great day." And I was walking away. She was like, "What's your name?" And you want to know more about me. And a lot of that was just on the trail end of her rejecting me. She kind of went back and accepted me, and it went a lot further. But you know, it was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. You know, back in the club days, couple days.
Right, right. Last week, yeah. Okay.
Way back.
Yeah. So we want to thank you folks for being back with us. This is Bar Talk with Jay, and tonight we are talking about allowing your man or woman to be themselves. What does that mean to you, Jay? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, somebody had to give this to me, first of all.
Yeah, and who gave it to you?
No, I said.
What were they talking about when they gave this to you? What were they referring to?
I'm snitching tonight.
Go ahead.
It was Buddha.
It was Buddha.
Buddha gave it to me.
Okay.
Buddha was saying, you know, you got to do a show to let people know that they got to let you be yourself. And here's some of the things that he's going through. But what made it go through my head is a lot of times when you meet somebody, it's a representative.
Right.
You ain't always giving you. So when it's time for you to kind of reveal yourself and let everybody know you, sometimes it's a hesitation because it's a rejection. Back to what we were talking about. No one wants the rejection. So now that you start seeing the real me, that you might not like me, but yet you still want the real me. So it can be confusing. So when he was telling me this, I was thinking about some of the things he was already going through. Okay. And some of the things he never ever fixed. Okay. But he still want her to realize, you got to allow me to be the man. But you the same person that put this person through hell. But you want her to look at you like you this reborn person. Ain't really fixed a lot of things.
Ain't fixed
but
nothing.
Expecting the best of the relationship because I am the man.
Ain't fixed nothing.
Now I know.
Ain't fixed nothing, and probably wondering why she feel the way she feel.
He probably feel like she shouldn't be that way. You know, we still together. You got to get past that.
Yeah, you should just let it go, right?
Yeah, like and a lot of time people forgive. They don't forget.
See, that's when I would say that one is trying to take advantage of the idea of just let me be myself. right? You know, they run a game. They're like, you know, just let me be who I am. You know, just let you be who you are. Like, I'm supposed to let you dog me. I'm supposed to just let you run over me. I'm supposed to just let you, you know, be that way. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna stand for that crap. I'm worth more than that.
Right.
She's worth more than that.
Correct.
You know. And, you know, we ain't trying to put nobody's business on front row, but, you know, that's when somebody's really trying to get over on the system, you know, let them be themselves. But let's just talk about this for a minute.
Let's feel free.
So here's a woman who is, we won't mention names no more. Hopefully nobody caught it, and we can just have a great discussion about it without being tied to our friend.
Yeah, Buddha.
Yeah.
I'm 6'9". I'm the caddy now. Yeah. I'm just telling.
So imagine this, like she's living a life where she's trying to be, you know, a good woman and raise a family, a household, and she's got a man in the house who she can't trust outside the door. She can't trust him to be gone to the store. The store, you know, a 30-minute run, he gone for an hour, and that could mean something in his world. That could mean something big time in his world, right? Right. So, you know, how is she to manage that? You know, how is she to deal with that? You know, you know, one point is, you know, obviously it's the children's father. Obviously it's her husband.
Right.
But allowing him to just be himself is deteriorating the relationship, and it's deteriorating her.
Correct.
So how does one get through that? How does one manage themselves through such a thing?
I always say you got to rebuild what you broke up. You broke up the trust. So now you got to start working on how we, and as him and her, because the kids are involved too. Kids get to see all this.
Yeah, they've seen it all. Yeah.
They all learning from what's going on. So I say go back to the woman, and you got to start looking at what all you done. Okay.
So here's what he's saying. He's saying there's got to be some repentance. And you may not repent to the person who you messed around on or the person who you upset, but if there's no repentance, there's really no expressed remorse.
And a lack of change.
And a lack of change. And she's not, she will see in his eyes if he comes sincerely, and he ain't even got to say what he did, but if he comes sincerely and say, all right, listen, I messed up, I've been messing up, I really want to do better. I'm taking ownership of it. Whatever it is, whatever it was, I'll fix it. Let's try to work this out. But in doing that, you got to be a changed man. You got to be a changed person. Because ultimately, here's the bottom line. That the way things are going, at least the way that things look from the outside in,
Right.
He has already lost her.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And she's really there just kind of surviving, right? And I'm not sure what the value he's bringing to the table, nothing more than just to have somebody around in some cases. But he's already lost her, right?
Yeah, she's just tolerating him.
Yeah, she's just tolerating him. He's not, in her mind, even though that's her husband, she's not even really probably seeing him as a husband. She probably sees him more like, a friend of the family, a good friend, you know what I'm saying? A good friend, a good friend who I used to love, who I let smash every once in a while.
All right.
You ain't
looking good.
If you think about it. I mean, how many times can a person get cheated on and lied to and manipulated before they lose complete respect for the person who's doing it? Right? How long? I mean, it's impossible for you to maintain any level of trust from that person.
Correct.
Doing the things that you're doing, and so, the equation really comes down to how much strength is it going to take for her to just really just push him away, right? Because he's already gone.
Yeah,
right? In her mind, he's already gone. He's not even it's not even a relationship that you can fix. He's just there, right?
Repairable.
It's not even repairable, right? Because they've tried that too many times, right? And I imagine she's probably tried it over 10. They've been married for years.
Right.
She's probably tried it over 20 times. And it's not to say that she doesn't have some fault in the issues that may be happening in the household.
Right.
She may be contributing in many ways to what is going on. There's three sides to every story, and so we don't know what's going on in there. But for the most part, that relationship is really dead. And him being himself is, or any person being themselves, thinking that they're not hurting the family. They're not hurting their spouse. They're not hurting themselves by the things that they do. It's just a fallacy. You know what I mean? And so, part of what I wanted to get to in this conversation is that there's a quote in the Bible that says, "Wisdom is too high for a fool." Right? And I've been on a big kick lately because for some reason I've been hearing lots of people express their like or dislike for something, this, that, and the other.
Okay.
And I've been hearing a lot of opinions about what other people did and what other people said and how they treated us and what they should have did and all that stuff. And the message that I keep sending over and over and over is, you can't explain foolish stuff. The guy who pulled out in front of you was a fool. He didn't pay attention.
At all.
He wasn't concerned about how fast you were going. He wasn't even concerned about that you were coming. He just pulled out in the road. You can't explain foolish things and stop. There are people who will get themselves in this self-talk rage How could you dare do that? You know, I got kids in the back there, and there's a stoplight in there, and I could have, and you just carry on.
It's called road rage.
Right. You cannot allow yourself to be disturbed about what other people are doing. That's the point here. Right?
I definitely agree.
You cannot try to figure out why people do the things that they do. And I'm not sure if I expected the show to go here tonight, but I think when we're talking about allowing your man or your woman to be themselves, you can't stop them from doing what they do.
Woo, say it again, Craig.
All you can do is accept it, reject it, or reject it. Right? And so, you cannot be, running around rampant trying to explain, because there is no explanation for the silly things that people do.
No, it's not.
There is no real explanation. They've missed the mark. They don't understand. They're not willing to change. They're continuing to be liars. They're continuing to be cheaters. They're continuing to be thieves. You're not going to change them.
Correct.
And you're not going to be able to explain the foolish things that they do. Okay? And so get it out of your head that you can somehow change people. We had this show a couple of weeks ago.
Yes,
we talk about allowing men and women to be themselves. And, I want to talk about a much lighter side of it that isn't throw them out the door type side of it. You know what I mean? That's kind of where we are right now. People who will do foolish things, and yeah, you can't change them, but you might decide to get away from them. Right? That's really the only thing you can do. Aside from get away from them, you could develop a very comfortable tolerance mentality if that serves you in your lives. Right? You could develop a mentality that just says, hey, I'm just going to sit around. We see couples doing it all the time, for years. The 50% of the couples that don't get the divorce, half of those are unhappy. But yet they stay there, and they stay there for years and years and years, and they find coping mechanisms to be able to deal with the stuff that they may be challenged with in their spouse or significant other. And again, you're not going to be able to change them in most cases, so now you got to find your own coping mechanism.
Correct.
Right? So,
but if you think about it, if you are just there and you're just tolerating it, you can also say that you're not being yourself either.
So, yeah, it
takes you away from you.
It takes you away from you.
I can't even be me now. I just gotta just put up with this. So that's that whole depression. And you want to be you want to be happy. And now you put me in a place where now I'm just tolerating.
You ever had a relationship with someone who was just combative and argumentative? And watch this. There became a point where you said, you know what, I can't even talk to this person about nothing. And so now you began subduing yourself, right? You began kind of just holding back. You don't talk to them no more. You would normally be, you don't want to say something about the TV show, or you want to say something about what happened at work today, but because they're so argumentative or so negative, you just kind of don't even talk to them no more. Now you can't even be yourself.
Oh.
And that's what Jay was just talking about.
Oh, yeah.
That's a place where it's a pretty dark place.
It is.
Yeah, that's a very dark place when you're with anyone and you can't be yourself. Especially your significant other, the person you spend all your time with, right? That's when I think the relationship is very much damaged, right?
Very much.
And it takes one of the two going to have to be a bigger person to find a way to overcome that.
It used to be me.
Yeah, and men oftentimes feel like it's usually them.
I can't be unhappy, and you can't make me happy, but you're making me mad, and you're frustrating me all the time. So the best thing I can do is put separation to it don't work for me. So again, it gets to be argumentative because now you don't want to be with me, but we're not good for each other. We're not vibing. We're taking the life out of each other. You get depressed to see me, and I'm not happy to hear your mouth. So I'm not staying with somebody that's going to keep giving me lip over everything I do, because I feel like at that point, you're going to make me feel like I'm a failure. So now I'm going to start looking inward the wrong way. Now, if I'm doing some wrong things, don't get me wrong, I can take criticism and correction. But when you constantly badger somebody, you're not bringing the best out of anyone when you keep doing that. And then you got a relationship with a person and keeps doing that. it just trickles down to somebody, if you got kids, for them to keep seeing a relationship in a negative way.
Right.
And now they're exposed to a behavior that they feel is discommon. Because this is all I see. I get a girlfriend, I'm supposed to argue with her.
Yeah.
Because that's all they do. And you don't really want that, but that's what happens.
Yeah, you know, Jay, I was with a lady friend of mine, and we had been dating for some time, and we were having some disagreements, wasn't coming together, right? And I know every couple can identify with this, right? So, I walked out of the living room where we were, and I just walked into the bathroom, right? And I was really just trying to create separation, because I was just frustrated by just being around her at that moment. And when I looked in the mirror, I saw my face was frowned up. Right. And I was like, hey, that's not me. You know what I'm saying? That's not the real me. You know, that's the me that's being affected by her.
Right.
That's not cool. And I said to myself on that day, that's not cool. Stacy, you're not going to lose yourself for anybody. You're not going to lose your sense of self for anything. You know, if we can't work it out, we can't work it out. But you ain't gonna walk around being mad and stressed and, you know, all that other nonsense. You gotta go ahead and get yourself together right here, right now, in this mirror. Do not leave this mirror without your mind being clear. And I had a little talk with myself, and the rest of my evening was cool. You know what I mean? So I think this is a conversation about honoring oneself.
Okay, that's a spin. I like that.
Think about this. How do I allow my man or woman to be themselves? I just simply honor myself.
Okay, turn it back.
Right?
What you can control.
What I can control. That's exactly right. What I
that's
can control. I'm of the notion nowadays, you know, karmic law is happening so fast, and I know we got to take another break. I'll say this quickly. Karmic law is happening so fast. I always use this as an example that the universe is speeding up. Okay? So as the universe is speeding up, it's also expanding. Okay? So it's speeding up and it's expanding. That means that karma is happening faster and faster. Right? The universe has less tolerance for nonsense, for BS, and for, you know, troublesome and BS, you know, all that other stuff. And so when you allow people to be themselves and they are on the path of darkness, or they are on the path of trouble, or they are causing problems, they will run into a brick wall. You have to allow them to be themselves. And of course, honoring yourself is the best way, but when you honor yourself, you're going to see that they will hit a brick wall every single time, right? Because unrighteousness can never prevail. You know, that man can't be cheating on his wife and expect anything good to happen to his home. It's never going to happen, right? And no matter how much, you know, marriage they got, or no matter how long they've been together, no matter what they've been through, that it's never going to be right if he continues to do dark things, sinful things to his household, right? And so he will hit a brick wall, and in fact, he has hit a brick wall, as we know, on a couple of 3 occasions, but she keep coming in and rescuing him. And that's that love that we just don't know. That love just comes from a depth, you know, from a depth that we just can never understand. So it is time for us to take another break. I love that dialogue, man.
So we're going to get back to it at 8 o'clock hour.
That was rich. It's time for us to take another break. You folks stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay.
What I'm saying here, see, there are men who hear you say, protect us, lead us, stand with us, take care of us, who will show up and show out. And when we roll through, the men like me, you see us and you say stuff like, don't protect me like that. I feel restricted, or don't lead me like that, I feel controlled, or don't stand by me that way because you blocking my shine, or don't take care of me that way because you are smothering me. And as soon as you say those types of things like that to men like me, well, we fall back. And when we fall back, here you go saying, well, he wasn't a real man anyway. Nah, no. See, you ain't never seen a real man. So you can't relate to a real man. You ain't never heard a real man speak. So you can't hear a real man. You ain't never seen a real man move. So you can't see a real man. See, you never been in a real man's presence. So you can't partner with him because he ain't impressed by your representative or your degree or your car, because to him you blind, crippled, and crazy. And most of all, your ass is single.
Wow.
Man, listen, that is that's powerful, man. That's powerful.
Really?
I'm almost scared to even touch that one, man.
I'm not. I'm gonna let him keep going.
Yeah, they can't see,
At all.
And how can you have a real man in front of you and not be able to see? And I know it's an exposure thing, but I'm not gonna touch that, Jay. We don't let that.
No.
Okay,
Let Jeffrey.
we're gonna hand it back over to you, brother Jeffrey.
Okay, brothers, don't think I'm letting y'all off the hook. Fellas, you are next. All right, fellas, some of y'all are single simply because you see the black woman as the enemy whenever you look at her. I mean, see, you look at her darker skin as a curse to be avoided. You look at the fullness of her lips as a caricature to be disdained. You see her locks or her kinky hair as a focus of derision and scorn. You see the contours of her curves as over-sexualized parts strictly to be used for your base desires. You see the black woman as the enemy, not recognizing that outside of whatever God you pray to, the divine vessel between the spiritual world and the physical world is the woman.
Yes.
Now, I can name many other reasons, but if you don't see the beauty in that fact, you will never see the beauty in yourself.
Yes.
And because you can't see the beauty in yourself, shit, that explains why you single.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, listen. If you can't see the beauty in yourself, you're done, right?
Yeah.
But let me tell you, there is something so extraordinarily beautiful about the black woman.
No, go ahead, tell us.
And I won't belabor on the point, but you can hear what he's saying here.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to see that power. You got to be able to see that strength that's in her. You got, but and even her body and her curves are just designed for us. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're just really designed for us. And I tell you, there's a lot of guys who just don't see the boldness of who she is because they're just looking at her surface, And we know women are different than us. We know they all look crazy and they're
being real nice,
all right. But we gotta recognize that even that craziness is in our mama, and our aunties and our cousins. It's still the woman, But the black woman is special and would deserve our attention. And I'll just leave it at that. Back to you, brother Jeffrey.
Okay, I saw a little video. The video was interviewing some young black men, asking them which do they prefer, white girls or black girls. And I would say at a ratio of 8 out of 10 said white girls. We like white girls because whatever reasons they had. So I asked some sisters to look at this video, and they said varying things, but most common is this is what they said.
Uh-huh.
Black women ain't just gonna let you get away with stuff.
Right.
Because we recognize how important it is for you to be better.
Yes.
They also said that, white girls just get to do whatever and their daddies bail them out. My daddy went around to bail me out if I did something. So I had to make sure I didn't get in trouble. Or the stress of having to be perfect. Or the stress of having all this other stuff put on my back to be strong. And then you want to come around playing. Nah, this ain't going to be easy. And it resonated with me. I'm like, wow, that's some hellified stuff to consider. At the same time, it ain't like brothers got it easy.
Right.
So if women, if you got it easy, and men, I'm sorry, women, you got it hard, and men, we got it hard, why are we trying to see who got it the hardest?
Right.
Why don't we just work on solving it together?
Yes.
And see, when we solve it together, we begin to take a load off you and you take a load off of us, and it makes the load lighter. So the more hands that we have on deck, the more we can get accomplished. The more we get accomplished, the better homes we build for our children. The better homes we build for our children, the more communities we create that we are investing in. And when we have investment in our communities that comes from us, we are a powerful force to be reckoned with.
Yes.
I want you to understand, last thing, everybody's talking about white supremacy this and white supremacy that. Toni Morrison said, if you are so supreme, why you keep holding us back? If you are so supreme, why you got to put all these rules in place around us? Why can't you just give us a fair shot? You're not supreme, you're insecure. And because you're insecure, you know that the strength inside of us is something ultimately you can't contain. The key to building that strength back up is for the black man and for the black woman to turn to each other, work together, and build ourselves up.
Yes.
That's all I got.
And that's all we need to hear right there, my friend.
Woo! You gotta give him the topic of the day.
You crushed that. You crushed that, Brother Jeffrey. All right. Just want to hear your thoughts behind tonight's topic. It goes like this. Allowing your man or woman to be themselves. What comes to mind, Brother Jeffrey?
I'm going to be myself regardless of what you think you are allowing. And I fully expect you to be yourself regardless of what you think I'm going to allow. Here's how it works. I'm going to step to you in the fullness of the Jeffrey. And when the Jeffrey steps into the place, I automatically command respect because of the way I respect myself. If you don't have that amount of self-respect, I'm going to drive you crazy because me just being me is going to make you want to calm me down. Put me in the box where you can be comfortable with. And I just don't play that. At the same time, I don't feel a need to control you because naturally we're going to adjust to each other if we're digging each other and we both have a healthy amount of self-respect. So if you're dependent on me to allow you to do anything, you lost. And you probably going to be single real soon.
Oh, we're going to talk about this, ain't we?
That's good. That's good. Man, listen, I want to thank you again, man. Every week I have to thank you for just bringing that heat. You always do it so well, man. Any parting words for us, sir?
Oh, man, I am good on this end. I'm just putting some stuff in place, making everything happen, man, because there's some craziness going on, and I want to say this to everybody. When you go to the polls to vote, and you got some people there that are trying to watch the polls and intimidate you, I'm going to put it to you just like this. Walk straight through their ass. Tell their asses to get out the way and go vote.
Right.
Go vote. Because the bottom line of it is, they are not regulating us.
Right.
They don't get to regulate us. They feel like they need to regulate us, like they've been put here and we've been put here to be regulated and monitored and controlled by them. No, to hell with that. Get your ass out the way. That's all I got, brothers.
Amen.
And that's quite enough, my friend. We thank you, Brother Jeffrey, and we'll look forward to hearing from you on next Thursday, my friend.
All right, take it easy, fellas.
Okay. All right, folks, we have heard from the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey.
Yes, we did.
And he always has an explicit word for us. The ladies can't see, and the men see the black woman as the enemy.
Ooh.
I think we got a problem, Jay.
I think we got to talk about it.
Yeah, I think we got to talk about it.
Talk about it.
So, folks, we're going to go ahead and take a break. Jay and I are going to go hard on the subject whenever we get back.
Yeah.
So, y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
All right.
Welcome back.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
this segment right here, we got a guest that came in. You know, we can't just keep doing this without a woman's point of view. And we're going to get more of their point of view at the next segment. But we got how you say it? Yamina?
Yamina.
See, that's what I said. That's what you
Yamina.
nickname.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is too much. But we got a woman to get a point of view. But we're going to go back in kind of hard because Jeffrey left us in a great spot.
Yes, he did.
And being yourself, he going to demand that, be that person. And I have to agree. It's one of the things that I like to say. It was a strong point, and a lot of people feel like you got a Mac in line. No, you got more confidence in you.
Right.
So if you be yourself, they know who you are. And again, I do a lot of things, but it's not about being overbearing. It's just about being you, so I don't have to change.
Right.
So I go into it giving you me. I'm hoping you ain't giving me a representative, because I'm going to see the change in you later on. Then it's going to become more of a problem, because if I came to you real and I gave it to you in a way that's respectful and you get into me, I like to get into you. And if you ain't being real about you, now we got some fakeness.
Yes.
And now when you want to come out, yeah, that resistance is going to be there, because I'm wondering, why did you hold back?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you would reject me.
Who are you? Right.
Yeah, because I'm starting to think about rejecting you because of how you're doing this. I mean, why it took you 2 months to show me you when I've been showing you me the whole time? Well, I know that was you. So now you bringing some baggage that I'm not really always accepting.
Yes.
Oh, Lord, see. People don't know how to mute the phones. I know I had that problem too.
Yeah.
But that's one of the strong points of making sure. And that's why I like this segment about being yourself, is because that's when you get lost in yourself. And then that person is wondering, when can she come out? When can she show me the true her without scaring me?
Yes.
So she ain't being her.
Right.
But at the whole time, I'm thinking I know the person I'm with. I'm comfortable knowing the representative and not the person. And then when they start coming out, it's like, okay, where is this all coming from? So now I feel like games being played.
Right. But isn't that the story of almost every relationship? Like you ain't, a year from now, you're not the same person you're not the same person I was dating. You're not the same person I used to go with. You don't even do the same things for me. You don't say the same things. We don't talk about the same things. Like, isn't that the nature of all relationships?
Well, all does change. Don't get me wrong.
I'm always going to start to see something I don't care for. But does that mean that, they were being representative, or does that mean
when I say representative, let me give you an idea. I like what you do. I like your show. I support them a month or two. Like, I don't really, it was just to win you over.
I'm
not really
a fan.
Yeah, I'm not. Because see, now it's a difference. If change happened where we grow to a point where things change, I get that. No, you going back to being really you because you just came on with a falseness. I'm a big supporter. I listen to all talk radio. Yeah, I'm all the time on the internet. I'm on. Then you, within a month or two, what is your website again? I thought I seen it, but I wasn't for sure. You'd be like, I thought you said you was on. Yeah, but I'd be shopping and doing other things. It's like you said you listen to all. Oh yeah, I did say that, didn't I?
Yeah.
So now you starting to catch them up in lies.
Yeah. Let's bring this to a different front. Let's just say, you meet a young lady and the two of you are vibing, and she likes to suggest that she's a homebody. She likes being around the crib and watching movies and picnics and barbecues at the house, and all of a sudden, she started going out. And now she want to go out on a regular basis, and and all of a sudden you like, wait a minute, I thought you was a homebody.
I was for a day, but I met you. It sounded good.
Yeah, that's the representative changing into the real person, right?
Yeah,
yeah, and it is normal for people to hold back early in a relationship. They don't want to run you off with their stuff sometimes. Sometimes they're just not, you've got such a pull on them, they have no need to do those other things, right? But once the pull lets go a little bit, now they're going to want to, go and do their own thing, So, it's just the nature of relationships. I'm a firm believer as well of just being yourself.
I agree.
Right. I'm a fun-loving guy. I talk a little bit. I listen a lot. I pay attention. You know, I'm pretty laid back, and you know, that's just who I am. I'm never gonna put on a front. You know, I'm not. I'm never gonna show any signs of, you know, lack of confidence. You know, I know when I'm over my head. I know when I may be in a group, I need to keep my mouth closed. But you always gonna see confidence coming to me. And I think what Jeffrey was attempting to say is that, you know, I'm a strong person. I'm a strong-willed person, and that's who I'm gonna be. And ain't nothing you do or say gonna ever change that. So ain't no need of trying to change me in such ways. But you know, ultimately, we're talking about here allowing men and women to be themselves, and I think that portion of it was whether somebody allow you to be yourself or not, you have to be yourself. And if they don't like it, if it doesn't fit, then just say it's unequally yoked. It doesn't work. It's just not a good thing, right?
Right.
I think oftentimes people hang on to a lot of relationships or a lot of people in their lives that they really don't like, right? They like a portion of them. You know what I mean? They don't like them, but they like a piece of them. But they stay in there. You know? I mean, we just talked about the marriages that last for years that are unhappy.
That's right, and just tolerate them.
They just stay there, you know, and tolerate. But if somebody is expecting something of you, and it doesn't jive with who you are or what you want to do or want to be, you can't do it, right?
Okay.
Which is another twist in the segment here. They have expectations that you're going to be X, Y, and Z, and we know, you know, that you're going to be domesticated, right? They have that you're going to, you know, put down those silly needs about being a rapper or owning a big computer company. That you know, you're going to just you're not. They're going to have these expectations, but those expectations don't fit you, and so now you have to stand strong in your own resolve that you're going to do or be whatever it is you want to be. And if you're in a relationship now, unfortunately, you're going to have to do it while in a relationship with somebody who doesn't believe in you or doesn't believe in your goals.
Right.
And you know, that can be real tough.
That's challenging.
That's challenging. You know, I always said expectations ruin relationships, because if I do indeed have expectations of somebody, I'm hoping it's more principle than trying to control. But yeah, and you have to have expectations of people, because if you don't, they'll always try to step on you, right? They'll always try to get over. Most people will take the short end, right? They'll take the easy route, you know. They'll buy the cheap bottle of liquor. Right?
I think you're trying to tell about what happened to my stomach. It's all good, crap.
Right? They'll take the easy route out. We know. We've seen the world enough.
Yeah.
That's what people will do. They'll take the easy route out. If you let's just say, you know, I've had situations where after dinner I clean up the kitchen, right? I like to help. That's how I grew up. After dinner, me or my father, my mom cooked dinner, me and my father would clean up.
Right.
Most times he was at work, so I end up cleaning up every single night. Only child, right? But I've come to understand that is a fantastic partnership. Right? That's a fantastic way to operate. And I operated like that with my mother. I would expect to kind of operate like that with my significant other, right? If there are no other extenuating circumstances. So, but I've had people to begin to take that for granted, right? And that, you know, nobody cooked that night, but the kitchen needs to be cleaned up. Now, if I clean it up every other night, and when there's no cooking, I would expect you to help me out.
Exactly.
Right? But if I don't say anything, they probably go to bed.
Right? And leave the dish dirty right there.
But sometimes I become the bad guy because I feel like I gotta stand up for myself. Right? Because, you know, they would just keep, you know, they would keep going to bed, and it would just be, oh, that's your job. Well, you always did it. Well, no, that's when you're taking one for granted.
I feel that.
Right? And that happens a lot in relationships. People take each other for granted. And that's one of the things I'm always cautious of in my relationships is I don't want anybody to ever think I take them for granted. You know, I'm not going to expect anything of them. What they bring to the table is beautiful. What they bring to the table is lovely, it's edifying. I receive it, it's great. But when you start expecting things from people, you really taint the relationship. You know what I mean? You really put a damper on things because they may not want to live up to the expectations that you have. And oftentimes the expectations are unspoken, right?
Exactly.
Well, when you say you was going to take me out, I thought you was going to take me to a nice place, Baby, we just being together,
Right.
Yeah, and I like this spot. What the hell you talking about?
I thought you were spend some money.
Yeah. So I thought you was gonna be home every night, right?
See what happened was.
Yeah, what happened was, yeah.
That's the beginning of a lie.
Yeah. A great segment on kind of the expectations. When we come back from our break, I want to talk about some ways to be yourself. Right? Barb has a fabulous list that I think we need to dive into as we move through the remainder of this show, because honoring yourself is most important, and honoring others is second important. Right? Honoring yourself is the most important, and honoring others is secondly important. And so sometimes when people do something that disagrees with you, you got to stand up for yourself, right? And you got to speak your piece, or forever hold your peace, right? Now sometimes, I know I've been good for this. I'll just sit back and watch, right? Something that I don't like, something I don't agree with, I just sit back and just pay attention, right? Because the details always come to the surface, and you can always see what's really going on. And then I make a very hard and cold decision, right? I make a decision. Because what would have happened is, for the last month, we probably would have been arguing every other night about it. Because I'd have been wanting to talk about it and hear about it and understand it and express myself and tell how I feel and all that other good stuff. But rather than do all of that, I just let go of the 30 days of arguments. And on the 30th day, I said, okay, this is how I'm going to handle this. Blah, blah. And I don't need no help from you. Right? Because you pretty much just showed me everything I needed to know at that point and throughout that period of time, right? So there's nothing wrong with being quiet, but there are some ways to just simply be yourself, and we're going to talk about that when we get back. So I want, we got a couple minutes? Okay. Hey, what you got, Jay? What you got on the subject?
I want to tell you, on that one right there is going to be very interesting, because again, I like how you was putting it. And I'm already looking at myself as a how I handle myself now. I look into myself to a point where it's a confidence, it's an ego. And I let the ego show usually when I go places, and it's like what Jeffrey said. Yeah. Because when I walk in the room, I want eyes to gravitate.
Right.
Not just because I do talk radio, because I'm just that lively guy. And since people know me like that, I want to continue it because that's how I feel. And it makes me feel good when you walk somewhere and they be like, yo, Jay in the building. Okay, let's have some fun. I like to make sure people enjoy having me around. Celebrate me. Don't tolerate me.
Yes.
Don't bring me somewhere just to be tolerated.
Right.
Bring me to celebrate. And you can tell it when they celebrate you. They ask you to come because they want your joy. You bring happiness. And they understand your happiness. Not just your presence. Yes. And I always can tell because they got great conversation and they just want to hear me say something.
Right.
And I love that. When you tolerate it, hey.
So don't be of unequal yoke.
Ooh.
That's what I'm saying.
I said, so don't be of unequal yoke. It's important that you meet your match.
I met a whole lot of matches. I don't think we was equal either.
I met a whole lot of matches too.
We did, but we're going to get into that later.
See where they at. Right?
Yeah, it didn't work out well.
Yeah,
But it worked out well then.
Yeah. It was, it was what it was.
Yeah. Great
It
match.
wasn't bad shit. Dang it, I'll tell you that right now.
That was way back though. That was way back.
Yeah. But I tell you what, I got into a place now in my elder years where I just got a little tolerance for nonsense. You know? How you feeling that, Jay?
We mentioned that several different times, and you're correct.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep tolerating things that I want to see change.
Right.
There she go. But again, I don't want to stay that way, so I'll make changes in the people I know. Because again, I told you, if you start recognizing the people around you, and you see they start celebrating you, it's a more of a joy.
Yeah.
And when I got somebody that's calm me, always with problems and always trying to bring me down, I don't always just X them out. I'm just not always gonna be available.
Yeah, you're not gonna be available. That's the key. That's the
Not
key.
always gonna be available.
And it's unfortunate you got to put a stiff arm on some people.
Yeah, break it down, bro.
But if you don't, yeah, they will bring a whole lot of nonsense to your world. And man, I got no more time for it. I got no more patience for it. You know,
Oh.
I'm even getting to the place where I'm frustrated when I hear third party conversations. Right? Remember I was talking earlier about describing foolish behavior. Like, why are you sitting there mad about the stupid thing that they did? They got you mad. They gone by their business, and you mad. And you still churning and turning and upset and got the wheels spinning, and you just won't let go that what they did was just absolutely stupid. It has no rationale. Don't try to justify it in any way, you know? And I'm just getting to that place in my life where I'm just losing, patience for that nonsense. So, and maybe the world is. We talked about karma moving a little faster.
Right.
I just maybe years ago I should have not put up with as much nonsense as I did. Right? I should have just called it on the table and moved forward. And my elder years are telling us. Everybody goes to boot camp.
I like that.
Yeah,
Boot
and
camp.
yeah, and I feel like I have somewhat arrived, and there's no need for it, right? I mean, would a drill sergeant want his soldier in the middle of a battle, knowing that he wouldn't complete his damn homework? You know what I'm
That's not the
saying?
place to find out.
He would not complete his homework over and over and over again, and I'm supposed to depend on him in the middle of war. That's gonna be the guy come to the front line and ain't put the bullets in the cartridge yet.
No.
Right? He forgot, right?
We might not win
He
this
forgot
war.
his rations, and now somebody else gonna have to eat less just because of him. They had less energy, No more time for it, man. No more time for time wasters. So it's all about big business.
That's right, that's
nowadays.
right.
Yeah. So it is now time for us to take that break. Y'all folks stay tuned. We're gonna be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this. Back.
Yes.
Yes.
We're about to go back in. Again, if y'all missed some of the show, please understand you can always listen to it again on YouTube. One of the things I always want to say, go to YouTube, subscribe. I need to get the numbers up. And I want to get the views up. And again, on Facebook, same thing. Share, because we do this live.
Right.
This is one of the things I can tell you that's off the cuff, because we don't sit there and just rehearse. We give it from our hearts. And then again, we are faithful with it. We're loyal. And we do this all the time because we want to help you. And then when we're not doing this, my man Craft is doing my segments of Minecraft.
Yes.
This is a person that's taking his time. He's been doing it for a very long time. It's one of the things I wanted to team up with a person that had a vision. Wasn't the same as mine, but he had a helpful vision. He got thoughts to get us to the next place. And he got the whole script to get you there. And I'm like, whoa, this is what you need. Don't just talk about it. Give a person a plan of action.
Yes.
And that's what I love about what we do. It's more fulfilling. And he makes me feel good about a project that I put together because it makes it more complete. And that's what I want us to do, is team up with the right people to get you there where you don't feel the pain and the pressure of failure.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Because life is going to produce pain, failure, and pressure. Right?
Always.
Life is going to produce that. And we have to be bigger than our pain and our pressure.
Yes.
Right?
Deal with it.
Yeah, we have to be bigger than it. Fight through it. And that's just the way that life works. In fact, this is kind of a Minecraft segment because I want to talk a little bit about ways to be yourself.
Ooh.
And Bart put together some real interesting ideas about how to be yourself. Tonight we're talking about allowing your man or woman to be themselves.
All right, making joy.
And so the question is, how do I be myself? The first one we have here is, don't aim to please others.
Ooh.
Now, there's a two-edged sword to that, right? That's a double-edged sword. Don't aim to please others. If you're in a relationship, you should be aiming to please your significant other or spouse. Make them happy, right?
Always.
if you're not necessarily in a relationship, I think what we're talking about in this equation is the character that is your truest character. Like, the true you has to come out. You don't have to dress a certain way or say a certain thing or act a certain way in order to be accepted, in order to be approved of, right? Now, there is a time where you have to, play by the rules, and you got to understand who you're dealing with, and you got to sell the dream. But don't aim to please others, right? There's an objective, if, again, we're talking two totally different perspectives, and I want to hear from both of you on this. One perspective is, if I'm in a relationship, that, hey, I really need to be pouring into my significant other, right? I need, I do need to be, again, trying to please them, not necessarily to a fault. And then, of course, the other, more worldly equation is that when I'm trying to please others, when I'm aiming to please others, I'm really not being myself. I'm just selling the representative.
The dream.
Right? I'm just selling the dream of the representative. Any comments on those ones?
I'll go first. Okay.
I'll go next.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a stab at this one, as in from, again, you always say relationships, but from a dating standpoint, to get to a relationship, watch how you do it, because if I'm just aiming and I'm trying to please somebody, I'm not being me. I should be able to go in there like me, and we should still be able to accomplish that, because I'm not trying to go in there and be rude. I'm trying to be respectful in everything that I do. So if I'm just aiming to please her, I have to make sure it's a part of me in there. Because a lot of times you get there and you be like, man, she's so fine, bro. I'll just do whatever she wants if I can get there, okay? So at that point, you ain't really doing you. You're doing it for her.
You're selling the dream.
Right, and you're selling it, and then when you get it, she's want to continue it. Now you're not yourself. So a lot of times you go into it and be like, oh, no, you want me to do what? Oh, no, I just met you. No, that's not happening. No, to some people be like, it might be a deal breaker. So what?
Right.
I already know certain things I'm not going to do. And you're not going to sit there just because you're fine and you're cute and you think you can just make me do something. I'm going to let you know I got some backbone here. I'm a protector and I'm a real man. I don't know what you used to dating. And then you'll find out a lot of times they was just trying to see how far they can go.
A lot of times they're trying to see how far they can go.
And that's the game. And my whole thing is, if you strong on you will break through that.
Yeah.
You'll break through their wall. It could be a wall real quick. They just want to see if you can get past it.
Right.
Well, I'm not just trying to knock your wall down. I'm trying to understand you. But since you want to build it up, hey, I love to chip it away.
Right.
But you got to give me your undivided attention, and I can start chipping away what you might have problems with, because I'm not the person that you thought I was.
There you go.
Because that's my old way of thinking.
Yeah, and so don't aim to please others, please.
Well, I can say this right. I guess I have to speak on two different moments of my life. When I was younger, it was very important that I pleased my man.
Okay. Oh,
I mean, I wasn't satisfied if I had made sure that he came, he got his nut, got everything that he needed. Now, I'm a different woman now that I'm older. Now it's all about, can I get my nut? Talking to them. It's all about, can I get my nut? Can I satisfy me? Will he hang long enough for me to get me? And so, I think when you're younger, at least I'm going to bring it home. When I was younger, it was very, very important that my partner is satisfied.
Right.
Now that I'm more mature than I've ever been in my life.
Okay.
It's very important that I have a partner that won't feel embarrassed.
Okay.
Because I might introduce some things that might be new.
Okay.
But for me, now at this stage of the game, it's more important than ever that I'm satisfied.
Okay. I like that. And listen, I didn't know we were going that direction. But that makes perfect sense. I mean, we're talking about ways to be yourself, and I think that may be, for a woman, I think that's a proper perspective, a proper growth perspective, right? That hey, when I was young, I had to make sure I was working him. Now he got to make sure he working me. And if he can't give me mine, then I probably, gonna fade away or something of that nature. That makes sense. That part, right?
We like it.
We like it, right? Let's try another one. Don't worry about how others view you.
Woo! Now that one right there, you gotta have a thick skin. And the reason I say that is getting into talk radio and getting on AM radio, you're gonna get a lot of people give you a lot of skeptic, a lot of reverb, a lot of bull.
A lot of haters.
Yeah, and they only challenging you. So you gotta look at it in a different way. So when you go with your swag, you gotta keep it. And a lot of times people just don't like, oh, there you go. And it's a confidence. That's back to an ego. So you gotta build it up because again, when you're in front of a lot of people, they're not gonna always just gravitate to you. But when they see they can't really shake you, they understand that's you.
Right.
And that's where you really gonna be in your strongest point. But when you're not confident, people can see it.
Absolutely.
And when you step up there and you really can't speak, but you can, but you're so nervous, it got to be that extra push factor to get it out.
Yes.
And then when you get rolling, it makes you get a little bit more into you. So I've been on stage in front of a lot of people, and it does get nervous because you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to say the wrong thing, but I realize saying the wrong thing ain't the worst thing.
Right.
It's not saying nothing at all.
Right. Right.
Yeah, because sometimes you have to let them know I've come too far to let you or anyone turn me around.
That's exactly
See
right.
again, girl.
That's exactly
You must
right.
have been on the other side of that stage.
Yeah, there's a couple of things that come up in my mind. Don't worry about how others view you. Sometimes you gotta check people, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you gotta check them, and sometimes some people's ways to check other people is to get a little loud and to get a little boisterous, and that's okay because that is sometimes very necessary. And in those moments, you probably completely let go of how the other person might feel about you or might view you, and that's not a bad thing.
But you can also speak easy, and a person can hear you clearly.
Absolutely, you don't have to be boisterous.
Exactly.
That's right. You don't have to be boisterous. Letting in terms of getting your message across. Right? You can just be real nice and sweet with it. Right? Don't worry about how others view you. Oftentimes we're kind of living a life where we're trying to please all of these different constituents, right? And it really pulls at our personal spirit. It really pulls at who we are, right? Here's the point I want to make. How is it that somebody else's opinion of you is more important than your own opinion of yourself?
Because you value this person. Like, for instance, I guess the most important person in my life I recently lost. But her opinion of me mattered.
Right.
It mattered so much. Her opinion mattered to me, I think, sometimes more than my own opinion mattered to me.
Okay. And that's what I call
Because
love.
Yeah, that was love.
That was love, right? That was love. And you always are concerned about your loved ones and how they see you. Always.
Exactly.
You never want to be, look like a stranger or a knucklehead or a jerk or whatever in front of your own people, in front of your own loved ones, right? So
Right.
you may, again, and I think that's where we turned the conversation into a conversation about relationships. When you have a relationship, that it's important how the other person views you.
Yes.
And you have to be you have to be consistent in your behavior, right? Inconsistency in behavior, makes them think of you like, I can't trust this person. And I told them a secret, and next thing you know, they went and told somebody else. And all these years I thought they've been keeping my secrets, but I guess they've been leaking. They've been leaking the secret out,
You can't trust them.
and you can't trust them, right? So. And it happens quite often, right? So, long story short, don't worry about how other people view you unless you really, really care for them. Unless their opinion matters, right?
Now, I can tell you, even when their opinions matter, they can do some things to give you a confidence booster. Like, I care about my mother's opinion. When I started my show, she said, well, baby, a lot of times they be calling me about some of the stuff you be saying, but I let them know, you have your own mind, and you have a right to your opinion. So I tell them, I don't always watch because I don't want to always get in on that. If you watch it and you like it, just let them know you liked it.
Right.
And she stepped away with that, so it gave me a boost to know she got me.
Right.
You ain't gonna put my son down. You might be family, you might not like it, but she's like, hey, that boy got a right to say what he got to say.
Right.
Exactly.
And I like it because, again, I'm not always asking her about the show, and I'm always telling her everything that goes on, and I'm not expecting her to always watch my show.
Right.
I want her to sit back and enjoy her life.
Right.
This show ain't all about my mother. It's really about me. So she's like, express you, baby. Express you, and I'm going to love you. And I'm going to be right over here watching my shows and doing my thing. And she always have me. She got my back. If I ever wanted to listen to something, she would listen. If I asked her to come in, she would come in.
Mothers do that.
That's what I love about a strong one.
Yes.
Yeah, mothers do that.
Mothers will do that. Here's a quote from Lao Tzu, and it goes like this: when you are content to simply be yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you.
I can respect that.
Everybody will respect you. Don't you respect the person who is just who they are? Don't we have a lot of respect? You don't have to wonder about that person. You just know who
Yeah,
they
you
are.
can see that self-confidence in them. You can hear it in their voice. You can see it in their walk. You know about their basic personality. You never have to worry about them being conceited, or conniving, backbagging and stabbing other people in the back. But actually have a decent conversation
Yes.
and can move forward.
Right. Right. Let me just share another quote here.
What you got?
So this is a good one too. Always be a first-rate you version. Always be a first-rate version of yourself, and not a second-rate version of someone else. We see so many people in this world who are mimicking other people. Imitators. They're not original. They wanna be the Joneses.
They can't walk by themselves or talk by them. They can never be alone.
Absolutely. And I have empathy for some of those people because they just haven't been exposed. Right? It's simply a matter of exposure. Once you expose them to something and then you take them out of that environment, they'll long for that. They'll long for what they saw. They'll long for what they experienced. But they're ultimately trying to fit in. Young people deal with this a lot. Teenagers and young adults, it's all about trying to fit in. And in an effort to fit in, they lose themselves, right? Imagine a young person who goes through their young adult life thinking that they need to please the world. What kind of qualities, what kind of characters and behaviors are being set up in their spirit that would demise them in their future, right? I'm not enough. I can't be original. I can't show people who I really am. I can't tell people what I really want. I can't defend myself. My likes are not important. They start to build up a whole menu of BS in their spirit because they can't be themselves early in life. And now those what we call adapted behaviors start to move into their normal behavioral style, and they're not being themselves for many years, right? And it happens when people just don't get the kind of development that they need early in life. The PE coach makes a world of difference.
Yes, it does.
Right?
Yes.
The PE coach makes you go out there and be your own when it comes time for murder ball. You got to go out there. So it's time. Yeah, listen, it's time for us to take another break. We're going to come back and close this show up strong. I want you folks to stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Bar Talk with Jay right after this.
All right. Welcome back with Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome back. Yes, welcome back.
Yes.
Man, we cut up that last session.
I think that's what we like to do every show.
Yeah, we cut up that last session, man. We're getting ready to close out this show here. Probably got about another 12 minutes or so before we break it down. And wondering, what your thoughts are, Jay? Where your head's at right now on the show?
I like when we first started because it came from a place where we felt like you're saying it because you not really want to change and you don't really want to be the best you. So now you're looking for somebody to say, okay, be yourself, when you really didn't represent yourself well from the beginning, but then you wanted to go back to how it was. When we're looking at it, we're looking at being strong from the beginning. It's like out the gate. So it's less of that. You want less of the BS. You want more of what I was telling you before, of the celebration. when you come out right and people are celebrating you, they tend not to want to tolerate you. But when you ain't right, it is a lot of toleration to see if you're going to get right.
Right.
And I want you to be more on the winning team than the losing team.
Yes.
To be with somebody and just tolerate them and just be together, I feel is a robbing of being happy.
Right.
Let's not rob each other.
Right.
You know, if it's not working and you're not trying to achieve these things together, then you got to sit down and have that hard talk. I'm not quick to just say leave everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not. I do believe it takes work. But when you just tolerate and there's no life really there, then I have to look at also the kids.
So let's talk about this. Let's switch the subject up just a little bit as we close out right here, right? You know, when you think about allowing your man or woman to be themselves, the first thing that we come up with, and what we've been talking about all show, is the challenging part, right? The part that you might have to fire them for. You know, they're doing something that you don't like, you know, some ways you can't deal with. But there is a side of people that we may not like, but it ain't that bad, right? It really ain't that bad. Like, you know, your lady, if you upset her about something, she gonna talk about it for 3 hours. That's just what she does.
Right.
And it's not that she being derogatory, and she gonna call her sister, she gonna call her mama, she
And
gonna
keep
call
on
her sister,
talking
your
about it.
neighbor, and she gonna keep on talking about it. And that just ain't nothing you can do about that, right? Let her be herself. Right? And you may have to create some separation,
Right.
but and you might, you know, put some earplugs in or put some music on or go watch your favorite TV show. But that's just how she likes to express herself, right? If he like to come home and have him a little toddy when he get home, and by the end of the night he feeling a little edgy, you know, just let him be himself. As long as he's not hurting nobody, as long as he's not getting in the way, right? Even when it comes down to your kids, right? Your kids, you know, they always want to stay up late, right? And every opportunity that you have to let them stay up late. See what they do, you know? Give people an opportunity to be themselves. And, you know, there's some people who, you'll be in a situation, and there's some people who want to speak out on it. They want to get their message across, and they're going to be loud, and they're going to be, you know, they may not be boisterous or disrespectful, but they're going to speak on it. Now, your way may be to, hey, I just keep quiet on it. I never patronize them again. Ain't no need to tell them anything. I'm just gonna leave this place and never come back.
Right.
But your significant other want to speak out.
Right.
You gotta accept that is the way that they are. It's the way that they deal with the world. You gotta accept that your significant other doesn't make decisions. Doesn't like making decisions, right? So you might end up making a few more decisions for the relationship than you want to. Okay. There are going to be many things that people do that you just don't like. But you've got to find a way to just deal with them, to just tolerate them, to just accept them. And because we all have faults,
Right.
we all have displaced characters and skeletons in our closet, and, you know, we got all kinds of stuff, all kinds of baggage. And we should not go through life judging other people for their things and stuff. It's just, you know, and we don't know where they learned some of that. Right? You know, when every time you want to have a discussion about something intense in your relationship, your spouse closes up. They just shut down. You can't get through to them, talk to them. Even if you're trying to be loving, they just shut down. Right? You don't know where that came from. Right? But they got a good heart, they're good people. You love them to death. They'll do anything for you, give you the shirt off their back, walk hot coals for you. You know, you stand in the gap for that person. And you stand in the gap and you deal with those things, because those are things of reality. Those are things that, you know, everybody is going to have, you know. So here's a quote to kind of close up this portion, and then I'd love to hear from the two of you. Just be yourself. Let people see the real, imperfect, flawed, quirky, weird, beautiful, magical person that you are. Just be you. And if you just be you, and if you allow people to be who they are, then, you know, you might find some joy in it. You might find that somehow or another they push you to be in your greatest possibility. We never know what that is, but we know we can't change people. Right? We can't change what people do. We got to love them through who they are and how they carry themselves.
And that's what I love about being yourself. Because can't nobody really help you if you're not yourself. I don't know how I can push you or help you and you're not being you. So when you be this fake person, it's hard for somebody really to relate to you because they don't know you. So when you really get comfortable in your skin and you able to voice like the ideas and things that you want, you have an idea, okay, of how he's thinking and where he's going. And at that point, I can see that. And if it's something I want to support, I already know this person is committed to it. So it's easy for me to do my silent commitment behind you and support you and like you because I see your drive. But if you're giving me bull, it's kind of hard for me to do anything.
Right.
So we're not helping each other. We're going back to a tolerate. I just tolerate you because I hope the best for you. And hope ain't gonna be enough.
Yeah,
It's gonna take your drive, it's gonna take your passion, it's gonna take you to get off your behind. And that right there is you. Ain't got to do with me. I can't get it for you.
Yeah.
But again, when I'm out there doing it and I see that I got some people supporting me, it makes me feel good because they see me. When they listen to the show, they see me. As I grow, I'm learning that more people support me and behind me, but it's not a fake or a fad. It ain't just a talk radio show that I gotta fake it to make it. No, it's a point where I can be myself.
Yes.
And I'm comfortable with it. They be like, well, you sure sound like you might be a hoe. I'll be like, I got hoe-like tendencies. What's saying? I got hoe-like tendencies.
Yeah. One thing about you, Jay, you don't really hide too much of yourself.
Ain't no need to hide.
Ain't no need to hide.
Better get comfortable in your
Yeah.
skin if you're gonna walk this journey.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say I hide myself, but I'm a subdued person around most folks. You know, most folks don't know much about me. Unless you're interested, I'm not going to just spill it. You know, I'm not the person to go around and sharing my accolades and my successes and you know how many cruises I went on and trips I had, and, you know, etc. So you're never going to know that stuff unless you're interested in me, you know, and inquire or become my friend. You know? But you know, being genuinely who you are is so important. It's so important to the spirit because, you know, we talk about if a manager hires a person to manage numbers, but the person is not a numbers person, he's hiring the wrong person. Right.
You didn't have a good interview.
Right. If I hire you to come in and be editor for my publication, and you're not good at reading and writing, that's not a good fit. Right?
Bad interviews.
Yeah, it's a real bad interview. So, you had something to say, man? I thought you were about to go there.
I guess you had so many points that I wanted to lean in on and kind of like touch on.
Sure.
But I won't be able to go all the way back. So I'm just gonna kind of like go where we're at.
Yeah,
at this point.
that's fine.
I think that some people are meant to be together forever, and I think that some people are together just for a season. And when your season is over and the winter is gone, it's the summer. You're not that summer baby for that person. You need to move forward. I think you'd be much more happier, and that person will too. And unfortunately, it's just the truth. Some people will never be together forever. They can only be together for a moment, because some people are gonna grow, and they're gonna learn, and they're gonna achieve their goals, and they could possibly be with a person who can't fathom you becoming a millionaire if you tell them you want to be a millionaire and you're working towards it.
Right.
And they are continually saying every day, you're silly. This doesn't make sense. You should just go over there and work that $9 an hour job and call it a day. For yourself, you know, that's impossible.
Right.
To get where you want to go.
Right.
So therefore, you're going to go ahead and you open up your own business.
Right.
And so at that point, you may have to find yourself cutting ties with the same person that you love. And you want the best for them. But you know, in order for you to get the things that you need for yourself, you gotta let them come.
And that is a very difficult route.
Yes, it is.
That is a very difficult thing to do, to say goodbye to someone. You can see you're unequally yoked, but you done fell in love with them now. You like them, you know what I'm saying? But they don't believe in your greatest intent in life. They can't see what you're doing with all of your time over there on that little project. When you go in that room and you spend 2, 3, 4 hours and you come out with a masterpiece product, and they have no excitement for you. I mean, that's a tough place to be in, you know. And if it wasn't for your goals and dreams, y'all may have a great relationship. Y'all may see eye to eye, but yeah, probably you're unequally yoked. And I tell you, Jay said it so perfectly a few weeks ago. We got about 3 or 4 minutes here before we close. He said that it's not natural for two people to be together forever. He said that only happens by divine appointment. That only happens with God's help. And I'm a firm believer that a couple just cannot get through couple stuff on their own accord. You really have to have a divine measure of understanding, and you got to be asking the Lord for help, you know, with your inner spirit, your outer spirit. Because when the two of you come together, you're one person, and 3 years later, you're both very different people. And how do you keep those ends tied together? Nobody can, there's no spiritual glue that can happen there other than the Lord.
Right.
And he'll keep somebody's mind right, and he'll keep somebody on track, and he'll give somebody patience, and he'll give somebody understanding, and he'll let somebody, you know, find some commonality, and he'll let, you know, only the Lord can reveal that, you know. It's kind of like planting a seed in the soil. You can plant the seed, and you can water it, and you can make sure that the sun might be out. You can try, you know, get on the sunny times of the year, but you have no energy or effort in that seed germinating. You cannot see when it happens. You don't see how it happens. You don't know what forces are taking place for it to happen. It just happens. And that's how the Lord can work in relationships. He can just make union and community and love and peace and joy and understanding. And I just sometimes wonder why the relationship's so hard. And I guess I ultimately come to that, you know, it just ain't enough Lord in these relationships. You know, there just ain't enough God fear in mind. You know, they say the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And if you go into a relationship having no fear, then you probably gonna do some stuff to tear the relationship down, because you don't think that your actions are hurting someone or hurting even potentially the Lord's measure for you, right? So you know, that's just word to the wise. Let people be themselves. Let the Lord come in and do his good and perfect work. Ask him to come in and bring union. Ask him to come in and bring cohesion. Ask him to come in and bring a common effort and a common idea between the two of you. It takes the Spirit, you know. Being yourself is a wonderful thing. But to be in love, you have to be yourself with your significant other. And that means you can't always just be the whole you. You gotta sometimes give up a piece of you to accept a piece of them. And it takes that. It's not ever going to change. That's just the way it works. And perhaps that's why relationships are so difficult, because we're constantly having to make the same decisions over and over and over. You've seen them do it 100 times. It got on your nerve 100 times. Today you want to say something about it, and now the block's done blown up because you want to say something about it, you know.
Come on now.
So you know, it's just kind of, you know, relationships is a crazy thing, but love can conquer all. And but love and being yourself can conquer it all, right? Love is just not enough.
There you go.
I think that if the sex leave the relationship.
Got Dr. Roof in the house.
I think that's a great way to end our show today.
I believe it right
She said, if the sex leave the relationship. I've always said that, you know, sex brings about a communication that no words can express. And if you don't have sex, it'd be very difficult to keep the relationship
That's
on
the
the
bond.
move, you know.
That's the bond and the glue.
Yeah.
Once the bond and the glue is gone, you don't need it anymore.
Yeah. And I wonder how, you know, older people deal with that. You know, people who just, you know, don't long for sex anymore. You know, they don't long for it as much. You know, I imagine they have a different heart and a different mind about it, because
okay, well, I'm talking about people that still sexually active. Now, don't get me wrong.
Right.
If you had a stroke or a heart attack, you won't get up no more.
Yeah.
You might want to. Well, we know it's not going to happen.
Right.
I can understand that.
Yeah, you got to find some alternatives for that kind of
I mean,
stuff.
I respect that game.
So listen, we're going to go ahead and close out the show. And we want to thank you folks for being with us tonight. This is Bar Talk with Jay. My name is Craftmatic.
Smooth.
This is my boy Smooth J. And
Yamina.
and we got Yamina in the house, and we just want to thank you folks for being with us tonight. Hope you have enjoyed the show. We are here every week, Thursday, 7 to 9 on Facebook Live. Please come and check us out. Again, share us, like us, subscribe, share us, and make sure you get other people involved with some of this positivity. Just trying to be leaders in our own community,
Yes.
and we greatly appreciate you being here with us tonight. So with that, we're going to let you folks go. We love you. We appreciate you. And with that, we are out.
Bar Talk with Jay.